back to another episode of 4Xtreme TECHSPIRANTS. Today, our speaker, Malay Phadke, is here with us. We are pleased to welcome him. He is currently a project associate at Indian Institute of Bangalore, working at the LEAP Lab. He has previously been a research intern at IIT Bombay and the University of Calgary, Canada. His research focuses on key areas in artificial intelligence, including explainability, interpretability, and uncertainty estimation. Through his academic and research journey, he has gained valuable insights into securing research internships and navigating higher studies both in India and internationally. He also focuses a little of an expertise on drone technology and how drones work. I think we can begin our questions now. Would you like to say something like a small introduction of yourself?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you already summarized everything, but yeah, I'm Malay Phadke. I'm working at ISC currently, and I'll be doing research going towards a PhD in the future.
That's lovely. That's lovely. So, my fellow friend and council member would like to proceed with the questions.
Okay, so we have like seen your incredible experience and everything that you have done within research and then internships. So my first question would be, could you walk us through the journey from your undergraduate studies period to securing the research position at premier institutes like IISc and IIT Bombay?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say I was initially interested in research as such. Like as me, I don't think anyone in the first year directly is like going towards a PhD in their bachelor's. So probably slowly through personal projects and different committees subjects, I gained more experience towards research. By the second year, I was already doing some projects in the core domain of electronics and telecommunication, not as such related to AI. Then that's when I got my first internship at a drone startup, which is the first time I had like hands-on experience, industry experience that had actual importance towards all these further research internships that I have received. After that, I did the 6 month internship at IIT Bombay. One of the good things my college had is that I could do a whole semester of internship without any courseworks. So that helped really well. And along with that, I got MyTax. So MyTax is an organization in Canada, and that basically pays everything, takes care of travel for research internships, and it's very welcoming since you have international collaborations. You meet with people from all over the world working towards the same goal as you, towards the same research in a way. And those 3 months in Calgary were like very beautiful, let's say. Not just research and study wise, but overall a good experience. Further after that, I was actually interested in research, but I was still in a dilemma whether to go for a master's or a PhD. So I would say PhD is more of a research focused, a big commitment as such. And if you want to move towards an industry, a master's is generally better. So after that, I had applied to some master's programs and some PhD programs. And slowly, I also realized that probably I would focus more on research and towards a PhD. So I tried various institutions and I got IISc as a project associate role. And I came here. That's where it is.
You mentioned that you were an intern in a drone field. What were you building? I'm just curious to know.
Sure. So it actually started in like the second year when I realized that my core courses were kind of interesting, not just the coursework, but more you work on projects. We had microcontrollers, electronic stuff, then there's PID control and all that. So rather than just taking some random project, we decided to build a drone as part of our whole coursework project. It is not necessary to do such a big thing, but I mean, we are curious enough. Going forward with that, I actually learned a lot of stuff, and I realized that research is not always as rewarding as it looks. I mean, flying the drone itself is a very big task, I'd
Yeah.
say. Yeah, and considering that whole thing, I gained all the at least the minimum skills required to work in a startup. And actually, while working in the startup, I realized what kind of client facing or industry towards skills you need. And considering I don't know how much you are into robotics, where there's something called robot operating system, ROS, which is a very tedious framework to work with. Now, even though there is GPT or Cloud, it's still hard to understand all the libraries or the framework. So I think that is the most important thing that helped me towards all other further internships as well.
So basically, like configuring the drone, sorry, was
Yeah, it's
something
different.
challenging.
Yeah, it's the drone has something called a flight controller that
Yeah.
so,
So
yeah,
I asked that because in our recent day courses, like in our college, they have been giving us drone technology, like basics of drone technology workshops and courses. So I believe that our audience has, some sort of interest in this because we are learning this actively. So that's
right,
why I thought I'd spike a question
yeah.
about that.
I mean, I'd say like a drone has different parts that you could work on. There's this
Yeah,
navigation, control, perception,
yeah.
this lots of stuff. Yeah.
At what stage in your academic journey did you like develop an interest in research? Like, you just mentioned that at drone,
Yeah.
building that drone project, spiked some interest. But
Yeah.
what was the exact point where you knew, okay, okay, this is what I want to do?
I don't think there was like an epiphany kind of point where I realized, oh, okay, this is crazy. I want to do research. It was just series of experiences which made me go towards research in a way. And one good thing was that I had a holistic understanding of tech after all this. Since I worked on drones, I worked on the hardware part of it, controllers. Then at the drone startup, I worked somewhat towards perception, computer vision stuff as well. Slowly at my techs, I worked on reinforcement learning. So throughout this holistic understanding, I realized that research as an endeavor itself is a good perspective. And I realized at the end of all three internships that maybe research is the thing that I can go.
So, like, the dots connect backwards.
Exactly. Very much so.
First of all, I'm like, I wanted to ask what exactly is MyTex and what, like, how can a student who is in second year or third year can apply for it?
Yeah, so MyTax, like I said, it's basically a Canadian organization. What they ideally do is that they give funding to professors to work on some real projects that have some real world impact as such. And to work on those projects, the professor needs someone under them to actually do the experiments, do the implementation. So that's when all the international students come in. So the overall thing is like between the professor, MyTex could also partner with some company and outsource that company's research project to a professor, and the actual implementers would be whoever applies to it. So after my batch, I think MyTech stopped because of the geopolitical conditions, but I think they're resuming this year. I don't know for sure, but they have their official website. They don't as such have some qualifications. You need to be a student. You need to be in your bachelor's. You need to have
Yeah.
two LOAs, which is an important part. LOAs is a letter of recommendation from some
Hmm.
professor, and you have to select seven projects at least. That's what we had back then. All over Canada, there are lots of universities, lots of professors working in different domains, and it's not even specific to engineering. What you want to work on, you don't generally reach out to the professor. My text sends you a notification if the professor is interested in you and if they want to take an interview. After that interview, you get the final notification. That's pretty much it.
So, like,
Yeah.
as a second year student or a third year student, first you have to build the projects,
Yeah.
seven projects, then you have to apply to through the portals, online portals, and then that's the
No,
process.
not build the seven projects. The projects are listed, all different kinds of
Oh,
projects.
okay.
You need to
Okay,
select
okay.
seven out of those.
Uh,
Generally, it's like rather than whatever like CGPA or qualifications you have, it's more towards how much of you are a project fit. So whatever I worked on was basically drones and that controller perception level stuff. That was a good project fit for my text project, which was also kind of on drones. So that kind of matters more when selecting the projects.
Since you have like secured internships at IITs and ISCs, I am like thinking like maybe a like cold emailing strategies are like top on par. So can you suggest like people who are always on LinkedIn, second year, third year students looking out for opportunities on internships and stuff. So what would you or like your go-to strategy for cold emailing would be?
So I haven't actually cold emailed at all as such.
Oh,
Yeah, so the IIT Bombay internship, like I said, since my college had a 6 month thing, professors generally came to our college to take interviews and select students.
okay.
My tax again doesn't require cold mailing because it is an official process. I did an intern, not an internship, kind of a research project which I'm currently working on with the Australian National University. So that is, I would say, is kind of a cold email. More than just saying that, oh, I'm interested, I've done all this and all that, and I want to work. What I had done back then, I had found a project. It was more on reinforcement learning and glucose monitoring, like diabetes patients. I had found one specific kind of a limitation of that project. I had read the thesis of the guy who wrote the whole code base, and I cold emailed him specifically with that. I replicated your whole project and everything from the code base, and this was one limitation. I'm trying this out, and I want to go forward with it. So that becomes easier for the professor who was working on it because they don't have to see through your profile, see through what you're doing. You have a clear goal already, even before you cold email them, so that makes them easier to contact you to guide you in a way. And I would say project fit is what matters more than what other qualifications you have. You can't just find top five professors in some domain again. Better point is to find the relatable projects that you can work on and you have already some experience in that.
You mentioned that, you know, so living abroad, right? So you were in Canada. So how was your experience living abroad, and does like international research exposure differ from research opportunities in India? Like, what's the, bridging between Indian
I
research and outside?
Okay, this might be just my opinion, but I would say international research is pretty much in compared to the Indian research, Indian academic environment. The students and the professors there are more chill towards you. They don't force. I mean, not students here, as far as I've heard. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Indian academic research, but as far as I've seen, international research does not always think that you should be in your lab 24/7. You should work on something. And this was just a 3 month internship, so I would not compare this to a PhD or a master's in any way. This was just to get that research experience. One good part about that is working with people from different parts of the world. I'd say that matters more. In India, we have a demographic. You work with those people. You still understand different stuff, different perspectives. But considering international, it is far more different. I'd say
So
that's
like
the
there's like different ethnicity ka people.
exactly
So you
quite
learn
uh,
different cultures
yeah,
and
different
yeah.
cultures. The main part there is this networking and collaboration stuff only. Like some guy from Korea, some guy from Colombia, and
Yeah.
you're all working on the same project. You're
Yeah.
so far and you're still working on the same thing and you have the same ambitions. So
And I feel like every culture has like a different work ethic, like Korean people have different work ethics, Indian people have different work ethics, and I feel like it just collides and you get to learn so much more about the work culture of a different country's citizen.
definitely, definitely. I
Yeah.
would say not just the work culture, general culture wise also, because my tax was like that. We had like this parties and kind of stuff. You just come,
Yeah.
introduce there the culture, the movies, whatever food they eat, that all things are there as well. So
So like, do you think that us as second year and third year students in our undergraduate right now, like we should consider a master's degree or like a research project outside of our country for once, like if given the opportunity, like would you recommend it? Like would you recommend pursuing this? Like,
I would definitely recommend if you get like this kind of an internship. This is like
mm.
a once in a lifetime opportunity. Okay, one thing I could point out, I've seen the Northern Lights when I was in Canada.
Oh,
It was absolutely insane. I was nowhere expecting that I could see something for a 3 month internship. Not just that, that was one kind of an example, but I would say there are a lot of different things that you learn throughout your life, and this kind of an experience matters more. If you're not interested towards research at all, you want a job, you just want to get on with your life to get into the corporate world, it's fine. You don't have to do this. This definitely requires more amount of kind of work. We need
Dedication.
dedication, definitely. Even that requires dedication. DSR, I have never
Yeah,
done.
it does, but like this is a different. This is more of a niche dedication
Exactly,
required.
exactly. I would
Yeah.
say this doesn't have a deterministic output always. Like your projects fail,
Yeah.
you need to run experiments all the time. So you learn patience with this. That is a good part. But recommendation, I would say definitely if you get an opportunity, go for it. But first, I think you should figure out what what exactly do you want in life, like a 10-year, 25-year goal.
Mm-hmm.
Then track back. Yeah.
So, for someone who is inclined towards research, what would you like suggest that we do to develop the skills to reach to the point where we can enroll in such a program or where we can apply for such a program? Like, what do you think we need to start working on? Obviously, it involves, publishing research papers and etc. But like more than that, what soft skills? I would not say soft skills, but like um how do we start approaching publishing these research papers that we need to that we need to have as proof that okay, we
Yeah.
need to get to this program. So where do we start? Like what are the publications that could help us reach our goals into research?
So publication wise, I'd say the impact of your paper matters more than the quantity of your papers in some way. Skills wise, first of all, you need to learn all the basics. Generally, every kind of research requires math, requires probability, linear algebra, calculus, all the
Mm.
basics. Then you need to find, so right now, like there are LLMs. If you consider
Yeah.
AI, large language models is a big stuff, AI agents. So you need to find some specific area, something that you like.
So I basically asked that these days, like when you publish a research paper or when you're writing a research paper, obviously these AI tools we're gonna make like use of them because uh,
Hmm.
this is what is known to a lot of first yearites, second yearites. So on a general basis, how much do you think that we should depend on these AI?
See,
You know,
ideally, yeah, I would say not at all. But like even I depend on that, but I need to give the right answer here. So ideally, I would say not dependent on AI at all. Because even if you write the first draft with that, and you have some kind of a guide or a supervisor who reads your paper, he will catch all the AI stuff. Because the cross questioning gets hard when you write everything from AI and you don't cross check all that.
yeah,
Using it for vocabulary and like more of scientific writing is fine, I would say, but still you need to cross check whatever it gives you, because lots of time it hallucinates, it gives wrong citations.
yeah,
uh,
it is.
Yeah.
that's the biggest problem, and that is kind of hard to mitigate based on how their architecture is. So first draft, like generally writing a research paper, you go through multiple drafts. You write the first draft,
Yeah,
you understand the flow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was asking about the specific domain research that you're doing. So there is
Mm,
interpretability, explainability, uncertainty in AI. So we are like
mm,
third year students. We have done AI as a subject, but these topics we have not explored them in practical terms. We have learned like them in theory basis. So how can we apply these topics in practical basis, and also the current AI, like whatever the AI advancements they are happening like every day. I wouldn't say every hour. We would say. So
yeah.
how much of these advancements and how much of these specific domain topics that you are doing research on are affecting the advancements of AI?
So explainability kind of is a very delicate topic, I would say, because even if irrespective of these advancements, it's still not used that much in high stakes applications, like consider
Yeah,
healthcare and all that. So explainability in that sense makes a lot of importance, because you need if you know how LLMs work, it's the probability. So you don't have a how would I say, a proof of whatever it is giving. So why did it give this answer? How confident it is in that answer? So in that sense, explainability and all that stuff is a lot, gives a lot of importance. Advancements, I would say, there are now different kinds of domains that people are going through. If you just consider AI as an umbrella term, LLMs are one thing that have become the most famous right now. There is something
Yeah.
called diffusion, which is generally used for image generation and stuff. That is faster than LLMs because you have everything at once. So people are trying text-based diffusion. That is one advancement that people are going through. And then there are some guys who are going through the core math of it, trying to change the LLM architecture itself to give an abstract knowledge of everything that is done. Um, so yeah, considering advancements, that is one thing. I kind of lost the flow of your question. Sorry, what was the
It's basically like how much like every day, like every hour, the AI is growing, and there are so many additions into it. So many new technologies are coming in. So these like explainability, interpretability, these are like the core domain topics of AI. So
right?
how much are these contributing to these advancements that are happening?
Right. So I would say there are they are like parallel to these advancements. So considering those topics in mind, people try to move forward, like
Yeah,
making some kind of architectural model that is inherently explainable. That is what is called interpretability, that you can directly deploy to some healthcare application or to some financial application. So I would say there is still a lot of area where this hasn't been mitigated, especially LLMs. There are like I work on uncertainty estimation, so LLMs are not confident enough at all at whatever they say. There's something called overconfident hallucinations, where how humans have delusions in some way. We are very
yeah,
confident, even though it is wrong, we are very confident about it. LLMs have those as well. And as a user, as a layman, if you don't know if the LLM is being hallucinated or it's giving the right answer, it could be harmful. It could give you some wrong answer. So, considering advancements, I don't think there are a lot of papers, but yeah, still people are trying to consider it and just move towards these application or deployment focused advancements.
yeah.
Those were
That's
some really
great.
good insights, actually. Like this whole
Yeah,
overconfident effect that you mentioned, that was something that I was unaware of. Because we have like our final year projects upcoming, so we have to make the black book and everything. So this is something that you need to keep in mind when you're using AI, because a lot of us who, we just use ChatGPT as if it's someone who knows it all.
yeah.
Yeah,
So this is something that is very insightful for our audience. Okay, so apart from like, so this is a very different question from the whole topic that we're discussing right now, but we've like discussed all your achievements and all of your places, experiences that you've visited, experienced, etc. But what was the one moment where you experienced failure that kind of led you to these places? Just a little bit of an inspiring topic for our audience.
yeah, definitely. I would say the first, like I said, I tried making the drone in my second year. I think that was my fourth semester of college. It failed. It miserably failed, I would say. It did not fly. Like, first of all, we also, since we were kind of naive, we tried everything to do GPD, do YouTube tutorials. We had no knowledge of our own. So we directly went to making the drone instead of understanding all the
Hmm.
different concepts it requires. One by one, we had to fall back. Okay, this isn't working. This isn't working. This isn't
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
Slowly, the end of the semester, nothing was working at all. We tried different kinds of debugging, different kinds of stuff. I would say towards even after the end of the semester, even after we had the project final whatever Viva thing that we have,
Yeah.
after that, it still wasn't flying. So we tried different motors, I would say different kinds of code combinations. It finally worked, at least in the sense that the motors were moving. That's it. But we had no
Okay.
idea the aerodynamics of a drone, so it still did not fly.
Okay.
So
Was it like a one of those X-shaped drones, or what type of a
yeah,
drone
it's
was?
called a quadcopter, X-shaped, like four motors. So that's
Yeah.
why quadcopter. Yeah, that's what it was. It was something that's called a F450 frame. The Yeah, fine, it's fine. The main point there was that the circuit board, everything that was there, we tried making everything on our own. We wanted to be ambitious enough to say we are not buying any parts. We are just making all the circuitry, doing all the code part, and still failed miserably. But the good part there was that I knew how it works, and I
Yeah.
also know
There
how.
was a learning curve there.
Yeah, that I think that helped me gain that drone internship, and after that it was more of a compounding effect to get my tax and my SC and I did.
Okay, so there's one more question that I have in mind. So basically, these days, a lot of people, you know, pursue research or pursue these fields to just put it on their LinkedIn, like to just show that, okay, we have achieved this, we have achieved that. So, how do you think that's like affecting? Do you think that is affecting genuine research? Like,
I really don't know, but I would say it is very helpful if you keep showing
because
what you
I have
do.
seen like so in our college SNDT was also hosting a conference where a lot of people participated, myself included, in publishing a research paper. So at a few points, I myself felt like I was just doing this so that it would show up on my resume or it could show up on my LinkedIn, just to show it off as an achievement. So I did not have that real passion for it until I got to the depths of the topic that we were writing about. So, do you think that this whole social media and putting it out in there, like, just do you think that is affecting research
It
at a considerable amount level?
I wouldn't say it's affecting the research in a way, but it would affect you individually if you go towards research in the sense that you want to put a post on LinkedIn. It loses its importance, and you generally don't go into the depth of it. If you consider like it's not a straightforward process where you start making a project, it gives you some results and you put on LinkedIn. It is not always like that. You need to always pivot, you need to always fail, and once after doing all that you finally get something. One other point I would like to raise here is that putting all this on LinkedIn after actually doing something is helpful, because that makes people see you in a way, and that is important in this world. Even though we have social media, visibility is very gone down, I would say, in some way, if you don't keep putting posts, keep updating people who have done this, have done that. And that also remains as a kind of a historical trajectory, because those posts don't go anywhere. I mean, if someone new connects with you, he will stalk you definitely. That's what I've heard from people. They would see all this post, okay, he has done this project, this thing, this, that. That helps you. But doing that as an aim is not ideal
Mm,
thing. That's pretty
yeah.
much right.
So basically, the students who are interested in doing more, like they want to explore more about whether actually research is for them or not. So people like second year, third year students, they are mostly focused on academics. So they are not doing much more of an exploring thing. So what would your like go to roadmap or like a structured steps would be in order to explore whether research is something that I want, if I want to explore research, or should I stick with placement studying itself?
So considering research, I would say there is not a specific roadmap. It's more of a brute force approach. If you are even first thing is multitasking, like
Yeah,
even with academics, you need to manage everything. You need to start doing projects on the side with whatever time you get, and that does not mean that you lose your social life. You don't go out. You don't go out. That is all
yeah,
important as well. But considering research, you need to do some side projects on the start. You can start cold emailing people as well. Find out projects that
yeah,
they already have going on, and how you can directly write in the email how you can contribute to that project. Hopefully, someone will reply, and from that side you can keep working on the project on the side. You gain more insights, and even if at the end you don't realize that like the research is not for me, I don't think I'll do this, that will still be a good project to put on your resume, I would say. And even for placements it would still be helpful. So I think on the side anyone can start doing any project they want, any domain they can take up. And now that you have GPT, you can go through it in any way.
yeah,
So I feel like that is it from our side of
yeah,
questions. It was really lovely having you here. It was a change of environment for the both of us. I believe that it was nice having someone with so much experience talk to us personally, one on one.
Yeah.
Um, it just like it brought a certain level of clarity. It gave us a lot of new points and new learnings that we could apply to our real life. It like so for me personally, I had not considered research as an option, but now that I have a basic foundation idea of it, I would actually consider going ahead, you know
Yes.
going in these fields.
Yes.
So, thank you so much for being here with us, giving us your time,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it
Thanks
was
for
wonderful having you here. Do you have anything to say to us?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Thank you for inviting me. I would say, like, I am not really qualified to give this kind of advice. I just graduated bachelor's last year. I mean, I have enough experience as a bachelor's, but not that I have a PhD or something to tell you that go towards research. But yeah, this is whatever I have learned, and I am thankful that I could share it with you guys.
It was really lovely having a connection here with you
Yeah.
about all of this because we got to learn a lot, and our audience will also get to learn a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. I believe that's it. So
That's it. Yeah.
thank you so much for
Thank
Thank you.
joining
you.
in, giving us your time. It
Yeah,
was
same.
lovely. I hope we did not
Went
uh
off topic or
yeah go
something.
off topic
Yeah.
very much.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's fine. This was a wonderful night. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.